It's Monday. I thought we'd do a nice coffee morning. It's raining outside. It's actually very chill here. I have a nice painting in the background. My girlfriend painted this, slash fiancé. Fiancé. And what we're gonna do is I'm gonna do the Q&A first. I know I said I was gonna do the skeletons video, but I thought I would do this first. I don't know why. There's no rhyme or reason to any of this. A lot of people were very surprised that I drink coffee. I don't really know why. It's the most widely drunk drink in the entirety of the world, so it doesn't. I think everyone just assumes we drink tea for breakfast, which I don't touch the fucking stuff. So I asked you all for some questions, and you were very kind, and you sent me some. I'm just loading them up now. So just as an opening, I'm doing this to kind of thank everyone for the donations they're making. I'll go into details a little bit more about where things are going, because there are people who have asked me that sort of question. So what the donations are going to do, and what they mean, and all that sort of jazz. Oh yes, that's a good one. So what I do with my coffee is I have a thermos with me, because I spend the morning sort of drinking coffee slowly. And so what I do is I pour half a cup into here, coffee with Matt, and then I pour the rest into my thermos. And this way it stays hot, because I don't like drinking warm drinks. And so I put it in the thermos, and then we all have a good time. Oh, I have a mild case of IBS, and I shouldn't drink coffee. I just say, well, fuck that. Jerry the Hero asks, what inspires you to make these amazing videos, thank you, that you've created throughout your years on YouTube? My parents didn't push me very much to do anything. They were just like, do whatever you like. Just relax. Fuck it. And for some reason that twisted into, you have to work non-stop every single day for the rest of your life. And so that's what I did. And I have no idea why. It's sometimes things with your parents are weird, I think. If they, things they do can have the opposite effect or the direct effect. It just depends on the person. So I work really, really hard all the time. I'm a workaholic. And when I was working for someone else, I felt like I was giving it every single ounce of energy I had. And they were benefiting from it all. Just because that was sort of the way that the world works. If you do work for someone else, it doesn't matter how hard you work, they benefit. And that's sort of what happened. And when I was a kid, when I was like 15, 16 at school, I was making videos, and they gave me the only feeling that I'd ever had in my life that I was doing something that made me happy and I was enjoying. All the stuff I'd done at university and working in an office job at the pharmaceutical industry, and a really good job, I just hated every single second of it. And so when I was like, right, I want to do something with all this sort of drive, and I want to do something I like. So I just started making the videos. I immediately quit my job on the spot as soon as I worked this out. I just went in, resigned, and just moved home with my parents, started making videos. So I'm very driven. That's basically why I do it, and I really like making them. The only reason I know I like making them is because when I was a kid, I used to make them. And you can still, if you go back on my YouTube, if you go back, you can find all these old videos, and they're fucking awful. But I really enjoyed making them, and they made me very happy. What's your favorite game and favorite game you want to be in VR? Okay, so my favorite game is The Witcher 3, because it is the best game, and that's basically it. It used to be Metroid Prime, and number 3 is Dark Souls. Possibly Dark Souls 2, very contentious there. I really like Dark Souls 2. A lot of people have issues with it, but I thought it was really, really fun. I mean, they do different things. They're not really that comparable. I liked the second one more because I liked how many environments there were. But the first one is still fucking great. The one that I would like to be in VR, I'd really like all the Metroid Prime games to be in VR. I fucking love it. I got the Ocarina of Time working in VR. But that's a third-person game, and playing a third-person game in VR is literally like removing your stomach from your body just over and over again, just putting it in and out. So you don't want to do that. But yeah, I think Metroid Prime will work really well. I've been playing Skyrim. Obviously, I'm going to do a video on it. And that's really good. That's one of the best games I've played in VR. It's just the same thing. The main problem is that Fallout 4 and Skyrim are not fun enough to be in VR. It's just very disappointing. But I'm going to go into details about all this. Harry Kirkham Dwan, and you all got such fantastic names for pronouncing, asked, what's your favourite game and favourite game you want to be in VR? Apologies. Oh, God. I'm going to put the name up written on the screen. Marsij Wolczak I'm really sorry. What are your plans for the future? Isn't $500 a bit low to sustain yourself? Aim higher, boy. You deserve it. Thank you again. It's very kind of you. Yeah, $500 is too low. I made that, and I commented on this actually at the time. I made it $500 3 years ago when I started the channel, and then didn't really touch the Patreon since. So since then, in the last like 3 months, it's gone from like $100 and $200 a month to $600 is where we're at now. It's just fucking, it's like the greatest thing that's ever happened to me in my entire life. So it's really, really good. And what this actually allows me to do is to not do sponsorships on the videos. I really don't like, even when like JonTron do it, I don't want to promote some shitty mobile game because, and I'm going to fucking regret saying that. If you watch 5 years down the line, I'm going to be like, play Future Car Storm on your Samsung 22 million. So that's what this allows me to do, is I don't have to do the other things that other YouTubers do, because I don't believe in doing that sort of stuff. You know, I don't think there's a product that I would really care enough about. Like, I could do a sponsorship deal for VR, I guess, but I feel like I'm already doing that anyway and getting paid from the Patreon. So, you know, I probably won't be doing any of that. I feel like my videos are very sacred amount of time between the start and the end. And then at the end, I might do some closing stuff that I think is a bit different. I think it needs to be pure entertainment. And anything else, you know, even like playing an intro, I think is just, I don't agree with it. Maybe if I had like my own really cool intro, that'd be fine. But like, oh, hi everyone, up is not jump here. Hope you enjoy the video. I wouldn't do something like that because I feel like it's a very sacred amount of time, and I work very hard to make sure that very specific time is as good as physically possible. This has got nothing to do with the question, so I've upped it to 1,000 for now. But I think what happens is people can just generally keep donating past whatever you set. So I'm just going to let people donate what they want, and then based on how much I make, I can remove more and more responsibilities from my other life. Because at the minute I do almost every single day I do something to do with teaching, and it takes up so much time. But in 2 months I'm going to be doing nothing except for 2 hours a week, and that's kind of the plan. That's what the Patreon has allowed me to do. It's gone from being every day teaching to 2 hours a week, because I don't want to stop. Because if the whole thing falls apart with YouTube, I can continue teaching if I keep a little bit. But I want to spend a bit more time. Everything I do is rushed like you wouldn't fucking believe. You know, we are talking about, I'm uploading, making the thumbnail, writing the description, editing the last like 2 minutes of the video, and I record all the live action stuff about 12 hours before the video goes live. It is a nightmare. I think I'll stick to 1 a month, depending on what happens. Actually, no, fuck that, it's not true at all. I want to start doing other things. I want to try and do a cooking show. I want to try and do some gameplay videos, like some skits. So exactly like I open my videos with like a live joke of me in VR. I want to do a whole video of that. I have all these ideas on my phone. I have enough ideas to do this. I'm very bad at taking the plunge. I'm very bad at finding the time to do something new. When I have more time, I feel like I'll be a lot more open to like understanding my camera more so I can do the cooking stuff, buying some equipment to do the cooking stuff. Spending time and money, I want to buy lots of hard drives and update my graphics card so that I can literally run the Vive and the VR recording equipment smoothly and just record myself playing for several days. And every time I do something funny, make a note of the timestamp. And so I can do gameplay videos, but very highly edited ones. I'm not going to be a Let's Player ever, because I feel like that is, no offense to anyone, because I know everyone, not everyone, but a lot of people do that. I think that's on its way out and has been on its way out for a while. And that's why I've never touched it. It's not to say that it definitely is, I could be wrong, but that's what I think. Okay. Technical problem. Time for more coffee. Nicholas Ed asks, which program do you use for editing your videos, and can you show us a picture of one complete edit? Of course. I use Adobe Premiere Pro, which I believe is probably the best editing program to use for making videos, because I used to use Sony Vegas Movie Studio. But it just got to a point where I couldn't do any more stuff. I just kind of hit a wall. So I had to relearn how to use a different program. And it wasn't that hard. It took about a month. Let's say I'll put one up on the screen now. The thing about this is, and I can just tell from imagining it, is I edit like an absolute fucking monster. As you can see, everything's all over the place. So partly because I have no formal training in editing, I think I do this. And I look at other people and they've edited things and they've named all their audio and video files. Fuck that, I'm not doing that. Everything is just how it was recorded, put into the project, edited however I like. I can work in quite a disorganized way. I mean, my computer is a fucking mess. I guess the videos kind of represent how this looks in that it's kind of crazy and all over the place. And that's kind of what I wanted. Adrian Skolberg asks, how do you manage a job as a teacher, getting footage and editing? Bonus question, when and why did you buy the HTC Vive? To be perfectly honest, I think, I'm probably gonna go into this a bit later as well, is that I'm not really managing very well. I was doing 7 days a week, 12-hour days. I was working till about 2 in the morning. Because I work for myself, I'm freelance, I go to the people's houses. It takes up quite a lot of time because you have to kind of prepare for the lesson, leave the house, get to their house, teach, and then go to someone else's house. And I'm going around the town I live in. It's quite creatively tiring teaching, which is why I'm looking forward to getting rid of it, because I can't juggle both. Because they use the same sort of part of my brain. The teaching is going to slow down and stop because they're doing their exams, and then I'm not going to take on much more. I'm going to take on 2 hours a week, just to keep it ticking over so that I can continue to make income from it. And if the YouTube ever goes down the pan, I won't have stopped altogether. So that's kind of the idea. When and why did you buy the HTC Vive? So this is a good one. I thought the Vive was stupid. I thought VR was dumb. I thought the technology wasn't there, it was overpriced, it was clearly not going to be as good. Because, you know, I've grown up with Nintendo promising things non-stop my whole life. When I was a kid, I remember seeing an advert for the Virtual Boy, which was claimed to be VR. Yeah, I mean, it was called the Virtual Boy, for fuck's sake. It was claimed to be VR. But obviously it wasn't, you know, it fucking wasn't. It was just a TV that you strapped to your head, basically, but kind of worse than that. And then there was the Wii. And then there was probably PlayStation, probably tried to do something. And it was all, you know, I had this idea in my head ever since I was a kid of how virtual reality is now, where you put it on and you'd be like, I'm in this room. This is fucking amazing. So I was like, this isn't gonna, we're not there yet. We can't be. I mean, we've just had the Wii, for fuck's sake. And then my friend got one, who is responsible for the entirety of my career, who also told me to play Elite Dangerous and Gorn, so you have a lot to thank him for. And I have a lot to thank him for. I just put it on, and we played a game called Space Pirates, which is you've got 2 guns, and you have a shield that you can like deploy and block stuff. And I was like, this is the greatest, and I still think this, and I lean in, this is the greatest technological advancement of my fucking life. And that was honestly how I felt. I just couldn't believe it. I just couldn't fucking believe it. And I bought one like a few weeks later. So I basically I think I bought it on credit and then started paying it off monthly, which meant I could get it. And I just love it. I just think it's fucking great. I'm playing Skyrim, and I think it's absolutely stunning. But I'll talk about that in my video on it. And so that's why I got it. And I bought it when I bought it basically a month before the Fallout 4 VR video came out. I basically just bought it and was like, I'm going to use this to make videos because this is great. And when I was making, this is quite fun, when I was making the Fallout 4 video, I was like, I'm on to, like, you know, sometimes you make something and then it does well and it's quite surprising. That was how I felt about the videos, the commentary ones before Fallout 4 VR, where I was just saying, oh, making Machinima is a nightmare. I thought that was the end of my channel. 10,000 views, I'll get on that maybe with the sort of 90,000 subscribers I had. And I just thought, I can't make the Machinima anymore. I'm gonna make these videos and they'll just tick along, but I'll enjoy them. They'll stop being demonetized and I'll be happy. And then all that happened and it was fucking ridiculous. I got 1 million views in like a month and I was just like, oh, thank God for that. But I didn't think there was anything special about that. You know, I worked quite hard on it, but it was nothing special. When I was making the Fallout 4 VR video and I was telling jokes with my hands, and you could see my hands, and I was pointing at things and looking in other directions, and I was like, no one's ever done this before. No one has ever, that I know of, put themselves inside the game and used it to tell a story or a joke or a structured joke. And I thought, I'm really onto something here, which is quite funny. It's not something I'm not very confident, but with this one, I really felt this could really go places. Not yet, I thought it would take a few years. And then I uploaded it, now it has 3 million views. And I guess people kind of agreed that it was kind of different. And that's what's happening with the Elite Dangerous, that's what's happening with Gorn, that's what I'm going to do with Skyrim. Skyrim is not even going to be a review. Skyrim is just going to be non-stop fucking madness, so that's going to be really fun. Because I'm basically shortening my videos to 10 minutes and cutting out all the stuff that isn't jokes, so I'm going to see how that goes. So I bought, and to answer the question, I bought the Vive a month before my Fallout 4 VR video, so in like December or something, November or December, I believe. Misanthropy asks, what is your favourite meal? This is a very tricky question, because I fucking love food, like you wouldn't believe. I like Turkish food quite a lot. I like kebabs. I really like kebabs. It was probably kebabs. I went to Greece for a while, and I ate a lot of, I know that's not Turkish food, a lot of gyros. An authentic gyros in Greece is fucking great. And it's similar to kebabs, you know, we've got bread, meat, salad, sauce. Very big fan of that. I like to eat healthily. I like salad, I like vegetables, I like fruit. So food that sort of combines that sort of thing. I'd say that's probably my favourite. I really like pasta. I do this thing with pasta. I like it so much. This is disgusting, by the way. Well, it's not. I like spaghetti pasta mostly. I swallow it, and I don't know why I do. I've done this ever since I was a kid. So what I'll end up doing is I'll get a pasta dish and I'll eat all the pasta and then I'll eat everything else. So I eat the pasta and I just swallow it. I don't chew it. I have no idea why I do that. I don't eat the whole meal like that, or else I'd probably get ill. But every now and again I'll have a big mouthful and I'll just go and swallow the whole mouthful of unchewed spaghetti. So I really like doing that. That's one of the reasons why I like eating pasta, because I can do that. I have no idea why. That's weird. I don't like sweet food very much, although I like chocolate oranges. So that's sort of my perfect meal. We have a starter of pasta, a kebab for a main, and then a chocolate orange for dessert. JD the Media Jack asks, do you drive? Yes, I do. I don't drive actively because it's too expensive. All the teaching I do, I walk to, so it's cool. I don't need a car, so it's really nice. Thank fuck for that. And you've asked a few questions, which is obviously fine. What is your favourite video you've created so far? Well, I honestly think all the machinima are a bit shit, which is really sad because I work so hard on them. Mostly the Rick and Morty machinima, because they're not mine. I didn't make them really. I sort of stole a load of someone else's jokes and then played Fallout 4 clips over them. I know I did a lot more than that because it took a lot of time, but generally that's how I felt. I just did it because they were popular and I wanted to kind of get to a state where I could start doing reviews, which is kind of what you can see has happened. I kind of grew a bit and I was like, now I can do my reviews and talkie videos because I have an audience that will watch them. So that was kind of the whole plan. So I wasn't too in love with my machinima videos. The video with the most magic in it is the Bob Ross video. There's something about that one. I made that in about 5 days of non-stop madness, so I don't remember any of it. It just blurted out. I thought it was terrible. Honestly, thought it was garbage. I thought all the jokes weren't funny. I thought, what am I doing with my life? I have no idea. I'm quite hard on myself about a lot of the stuff I make. But now I watch it and I'm like, it's just something about this that really works. So I really like that one. That's my favourite machinima. I like the Gordon Ramsay one, the first one I did. That has a little bit of magic in it as well. I know that sounds weird being like, oh, my videos have magic in them. But it's sort of, when I'm making them, I don't have any opinion of them at all. Compared to one to the other, I put the same amount of effort into all of them and I think they're all pretty good. And then when they're done and then some months pass and I watch them, I feel like sometimes I just watch them and be like, yeah, this is really good. So I feel that way about the Gordon Ramsay and the Bob Ross ones. Those are the two kind of my favourite. I like the Planet Earth one as well, an awful lot. That might be my favourite actually, because I enjoyed, I felt like while I was making that, I was like, I really like this. I think this is really nice. This was really fun. I'm enjoying putting this together. And now that it's done and I watch it, I still think it's quite good. So that you see, there's sort of a different perspective on them. In terms of the commentary videos, my favourite one, I think my favourite one's going to be the Skyrim video that I'm working on now, because I really like talking about Skyrim. But that's not out yet. So my favourite one that I've done, there's something I don't like about Gorn. It came out not quite how I wanted it to. I still think it's good. It just didn't come out quite right. Yeah, I think it's the Elite Dangerous one. I think that one is where I started believing in my writing. You know, that I'm writing something and be like, yeah, I can make this funny. Whereas before I was like, oh, I don't know if I can make this funny. You know, I've learned a lot of the power of editing. If you know how to bring a sentence alive with editing, you can say almost anything, really, and you can make it kind of fun. And I've learned that, and so I'm a lot more confident with my writing. So I like the Elite Dangerous one for teaching me that, and I think it's really fun. It's a really silly video, like traveling around the universe in VR with me, and everything's fucking up. I think it was really fun. What is it like seeing the support for you grow? I've kind of mentioned that a little bit in that it's just fucking crazy. It's the best thing that's ever happened to me in my entire life, other than meeting my fiance, which obviously is quite important as well. Like, my life has changed for hopefully forever. That's the plan, because I'm gonna make videos for the rest of my life. This is a lifelong venture now. This is just the beginning. It happened overnight, so it's taken me months to come to terms with this, and it's been quite difficult in a weird way, because I've just been like, I just don't get it. I don't see how I can quit my job and do this full time. But now I'm up to speed with everything, and I just think it's just the fucking best. I just can't believe it. And the final question from JD the Media Jack is, will I ever use a Molotov cocktail correctly? No, I won't. I won't use that joke again. So there we go. So I will never not use one correctly ever again. Austin Acock asks, of these 3 fellow YouTube comedians / gamers / reviewers, who would you want to marry, fuck, kill? And the choices are Yahtzee Croshaw from Zero Punctuation, Jason Gastro, who is the video game donkey, who I like, I didn't know that was his name, and Rob Pearson from PlayStation Access, who I've never heard of in my entire life. So he's fucking dead. I watch a show from Yahtzee, it's a podcast called Let's Drown Out, and I watch it religiously. I watch it every single day. It finished over a year ago, and I still watch it every day. Well, it's you don't watch it, you listen to it. It's him playing games with one of his friends called Gabriel, and I think it is one of the greatest things ever made. It's called Let's Drown Out, and I just think it's fucking amazing. I just can't get over how good it is, and how funny they are, and how great it is, and how sad it is that it's over. The reason I'm saying this is I know quite a lot about Yahtzee, because he made an hour of him talking about random shit every week for like 3 years. So that's a lot of footage, and I've watched it all numerous times. But then I know nothing about Video Game Donkey other than the fact that he's got a good sense of humor. He's my next rival. I create rivals as I go. I started off with a guy called Easy Plays who had 10,000 subscribers, and I made it my mission in life to kind of surpass him. And I did, and I thought, okay, now I've made it. He was like he's my rival. If I can beat him, I've done it. But then every time I surpassed someone, I made a new rival. I'd say my current rival is probably Oxhorn. I want to beat him. I want to get more subscribers than him. I don't know why I do this. I make this up in my brain. I don't tell these people this. I sort of see people doing the sort of stuff I'm doing, and I think, right, I want to be better than them. And I see the next person, I'm like, right, I want to be better than them. And not better in terms of views or better person. I just mean putting in the time and the effort and applying, trying to be better and better and better and better and surpass previous videos I've made. That's what I'm always trying to do. To answer the question, I mean, I do know Yahtzee really well. I think we could probably have more of a successful marriage than me and the Video Game Donkey, because I know him so well. But he is an arsehole. So, yeah, I'll marry Jason of Video Game Donkey, because I don't know that he's an arsehole. He might be, but he's not as bad as Yahtzee, so there we go. And I will have sex with Yahtzee Croshaw. So there you go. I don't really want to, because for obvious reasons. One, he's not very handsome. 2, I don't want to have sex with a man, which is fine. Nothing wrong with having sex with a man. I don't want to have sex with a man, but if you want to, that's fine. And there we go. And Rob's dead. Rob was dead ages ago. The same person, Austin Acock, asking a different question. With each new video, you become more and more popular. Thank you. That's the plan. Do you have any skeletons in your closet that the wider public may not like. For starters, yes, you're getting the skeletons video. I'm going to try and make that today. I don't know how that's going to turn out. Well, the thing about this question is, I don't know if this is a joke or not. Apologies if it is, because I can't think of anything funny to answer the question. So I think people who do have skeletons, either or I killed the previous person who made videos, the Machinima guy. He's dead. I then took over his YouTube channel and started making commentary videos. Jordan Ludford asks if I know about The Bird. I don't like Family Guy, if that's what you're asking. Dave Pello asks, what is the most insignificant clip/joke in a video you spent too much time on? I do much more basic editing than your work, but even at this stage, I sometimes find myself spending up to half an hour on a really dumb gag. I do this all the time. I'll ruin a day trying to get a clip, and then it's not that good. And it drives me absolutely nuts. The one thing that actually comes to mind is when I was talking about the Fallout 4 VR video, I was talking about how they spent too much time on all the individual meshes in the 2D game. There was just so much detail and everything, and yet the game was lacking in so much structure, and the game itself lacked structure, but the visual style didn't. And it's a shame that they did that. So I wanted to give some examples. So I gave the top of the vault having all those different meshes, and then I wanted to give another example. And I just couldn't find anything. There are things all over the game, like every machine has an individual button. I could have talked about that. But I spent a whole day trying, I was just going to locations looking for complicated ceilings, and it was a fucking nightmare. Although this wasn't a joke, this was just a clip, and it was insignificant. And I spent about 4 hours doing that, and it's so depressing. I have so much to do, and I spent it all doing that fucking clip. If there was a joke that I spent too long on, so I tried to make Morty's big arm from the episode where Rick makes Morty's arm really powerful. There's a whole episode about it. And I spent, I'd say, 2 days modding the game to make it so that you could make one arm small and one arm big. And I got it to work, and it took me ages. I had to learn how to do so many different things, and I finally got it to work. And then basically after that, I stopped making Machinima. So I have this file on my computer that I spent 2 days making so I can make Morty have a big arm. And I'm never going to use it now. Those days are long gone. So that was a fucking waste of time as well. I mean, Jesus. The amount of time you can waste if you let yourself. Generally, a way around this, I find, is if you find yourself spending a long time on something that you know probably isn't that important, and you're like, but I have to get it. Take 10, 15 minutes, go away, come back again, and then you'll be like, I'll just use that. And then you're done. Rather than spending like 4 hours exhausting yourself. I do that all the time. It's really tricky. Dave also asks, if there's any time to answer it, can you break down a little what goes into making one of your new style of videos? Planning, scripting, how you put together and edit all your footage. I'm sure years of Machinima experience has helped you get to this point, but trying to unpack everything going on in one of your videos from a production, editing standpoint is mental. Thank you. It makes me sound very dynamic. I'm not at all. To break it down quite simply, and I'll probably do a behind the scenes. I'm going to do a making VR videos is a nightmare because of all the intricacies involved with recording in VR. It's a fucking pain in the ass, and it's causing me some neck problems. What I'll do is I'll play the game for maybe 10 to 20 hours. I don't consider myself a reviewer, because I think to review a game properly you need to complete it. That's my opinion. This is just a bit of fun what we're doing, so I don't feel like I need to really complete the game. So that takes about 3 days. Then I write the script in 1 day. If it's a longer script, I do it in 2 days. Elite Dangerous took me 2 days, Gorn took me 1 day. Skyrim, I think I'm going to write the whole script tomorrow. So it takes about 1 to 3 days for the script, 2 to 3 days playing the game, so we've already hit a week. So people are like, where's the next video? And it's like, look, I haven't even started doing the voice acting and a week has passed, and if I want some time off from the previous video that's more than 2 days, that's another week, so you know, it really adds up. Then I will do the voice recording. That takes a day, no more, no less. I soundproof my entire bedroom by putting mattresses on the wall and cushions all over the floor, and I do the voice acting a day. Then I start editing the video, and what I do is I do it as I go. So I import the audio, and I just start from the beginning, and I do it in little chunks. I'll maybe I'll edit together a minute of audio, and then I'll go off, write down everything I want on a piece of paper, and then put on the VR headset and be like, right, the first thing I need for the first bit is this, and I'll go into the game and I'll do it, and then I'll do the next thing, and then I'll edit together a minute. And so I usually do about a minute a day, maybe up to 2 minutes like that. Then what I need to do is I need to get to the stage where I know what, because as you do it, you'll want to add more audio. It's never perfect. So I get a new script written of the re-edits that I want to do to the audio, so I'll have to soundproof my bedroom. And then I will also know, I'll have a script of what visuals I need with my camera, you know, me, like what I'm doing now. Then I usually do that the day before the video comes out, because I'm fucking mental. I'll have made as much of the video as I need to be ready to do the re-recordings for the audio and the recordings for the video. I'll do all of that the day before the video is done, and then I will spend the day of the video upload putting that into the project and finishing everything off. And that's how I do it. Once I have a bit more time, I will probably give myself 2 days. I'll give myself 2 days to do the re-recording of the audio, the recording of the video, putting it in, and then finalizing everything, as opposed to doing it all basically the day the video is due. It's a fucking nightmare, I tell you. Paul Pluser asks, which content creators have been the most influential on your style? Everyone I follow is unique, but generally in the same vein of style and comedic timing. Whereas your stuff seems to break the mold of what I'm used to a bit and be more punctuated and rapid fire. So why do I go quickly? That's basically one of the main things here. I am influenced by Yahtzee, but I think what Yahtzee does isn't that unique in terms of going quickly, because all he did was work out that the faster you go, the more entertaining you are, because you're providing more information, more comedy as time goes on. You know, it's more condensed. And I think what the internet is missing, because of this whole, the longer the video is, the more money you make thing, going quickly, being condensed, being interesting to a certain extent is gone, because you want to go slow. You want to drag it out because you want to make more money. Not necessarily, that's not true for everyone, of course, but that is a very big drive now. And I think that people are missing that to do well, you need to stand out. You don't want to do the same thing everyone else is doing. The drive to make more money and to make your videos longer, I think costs you in the long run, because people get bored. You don't do enough. You don't keep people's attention. My job is to entertain now. And if I go slowly, I'm being less entertaining, so I'm gonna go quicker. So I'm not stealing his style for the purpose of a hook. You know, oh, I'm quick, that's my thing. I just have the same sort of ethos about if you're quick, you are more entertaining, and that is what is important. So that's why I go very quickly. The other influence is Hbomberguy. Without the Fallout 3 is garbage and here's why video, I think I'd still be making Machinima. I watched that video when it came out, start to finish, and I was like, I almost like cried. I was just like, I want to do this so much. I'm getting a bit emotional now, because that's what I was so sick of making Machinima. I just wasn't enjoying it at all anymore. And I just wanted to do that so badly, so badly. And I'm getting upset. A few months after seeing that video, I was like, I want to do that. And I watched it like 3 or 4 times. And even though I disagree with a lot of his opinions, I think this style of commentary joke, commentary joke, commentary joke, commentary joke, and the way he speaks as well, he talks very much like, you know, very impactful, very emotional, you know, he's got a lot of himself in it, and I find that very inspiring, so that's what I tried to do. So I find he is an influence. I did take what he did and try and do something similar. Yahtzee, I speak quickly just because I think it's a good idea to speak quickly. I remembered what I was talking about before the video cut out. I was saying that I saw people as my rivals. I saw Soranova as a bit of a rival, the girl that makes Machinima videos, who's stopped now because she's at uni. But I don't do that anymore. So she was sort of my inspiration for a lot of, like the Gordon Ramsay videos. She inspired a lot of the ideas I did in that. But obviously I don't do that sort of thing anymore, so it's not really an inspiration as much. She's a very smart and has a lot of talent for making videos. So I find her very inspirational. Her style of comedy influenced me a lot. She's very funny. AJ Fell says, well done on reaching a milestone. Thank you very much. I hope things are running smoother with the extra income. I don't think this is a question. I don't really have a question, but before you said you were close to being able to do videos purely because of Patreon support, I'm wondering how close you are to that now. We're almost there. Very, very close. I'm gonna do it anyway. As I've said, I'm letting everything slide in terms of all my other responsibilities and I'm just going to focus on videos. And if I continue growing like I am, I will get there. But for all intensive purposes, I'm there. I'm ready to take it on full time pretty much. Because each video I do does so well, I get a little extra spike, which is what's keeping me going. But if the videos ever stop doing so well, I'll be at like 700, and then maybe like with the Patreon, we'll be closer to 1,000 just over a month. So I'm not there yet. Basically I'm taking the plunge. I feel like there's enough of an upward curve to take the plunge, drop everything, videos, keep pushing it up, and I'll make it there eventually. That's kind of the plan. But more patrons would mean I wouldn't have to rely on YouTube ad revenue, which would be very nice, because it's terrifying, YouTube ad revenue. Because basically just one day I just woke up and every single video I'd ever made was demonetized. And that's no way to live your life. It's terrifying. I didn't rely on my YouTube monetization at that time, but if I did, fucking hell. It's not right. It's not cool at all. Lawrence Baxter asks, seeing as the last handful of your videos have been commentary based, will you continue doing these instead of your machinima type videos? Yes. Thank you, Lawrence, for the question. Yeah, I'm going to stop doing machinima. It's done. I might come, because I know how to do them to such a degree. It's a skill that I don't want to let go of completely. It's like how in my last video I used like I did little machinima segments, but that's because it was a video about Fallout 4. I do have some ideas still that I'd like to do. A day will come where I'll make a proper machinima again, because it's a skill that I enjoy having and like using. It's just making machinimas every week is not fun. It's very slow, methodical, boring, difficult, tiring, doesn't make any money, not very easy. I had this grand plan, basically. What I need to do is I need to grow a fan base, and then I can do commentary videos. That was always the long-term goal, commentary videos, because that was what I always wanted to do. From watching Matthew Matosis and Hbomberguy, it's something I knew I really liked. But it seemed to me that no one cared what I had to say, because no one knew who I was, and there was no way to hook them. Because lots of people do commentary videos, you can't hook people with them. So what I thought was, if I did stuff about TV shows and movies that people already like, I could kind of gather an audience that way, and then sort of slowly work towards the commentary videos. And that's exactly how it all went, fortunately. So it all worked quite well. So the machinima videos were never going to be a long-term thing. They were my way of sort of doing something a bit different, so that I could then eventually do commentary videos, which are a bit more straightforward to make and a bit more mainstream, I suppose. It's not to say I didn't like making the machinima. I did really enjoy it, especially for the first year and a half. But in the last year towards its end, I was really starting to struggle with it. I was finding it very difficult to make myself do it. And I wanted to stop. And I wanted to start doing commentaries, but I was scared, and I was convinced that people would stop watching, convinced that it would just go boom, and I'd have to start again, not from scratch, but mostly again. So when the first commentary video did well, it was just the most amazing thing. I just couldn't believe it. I was just like, this is fucking outrageous. So that's how that went. The problem with the machinimas is that they don't make any money. Per view, commentary videos make about 5 times as much income. Machinima videos just make nothing. You get 1 million views on a machinima video. It's not a lot of money. We're talking maybe a couple £100. It's mental. They're just somehow classed as making less money than a commentary video. I think people are a lot more engaged when someone's talking to them. I think machinima people are very much sort of, Google can tell that people aren't really paying attention, I guess, and so they make less money. And this isn't all about money. I just wanted to do this for a living so that I didn't have to work an office job, basically, because I found that very difficult. And there we go. I think I'm out of questions. Cool. One question I didn't answer was Ben Waddle asks, what was it that drew you to teaching chemistry or just teaching in general? And what this was I needed to. When I worked in the pharmaceutical industry, I had a really, really shit time. I'm going to try and answer this in 5 minutes. There's nothing wrong with an office job, but it just clashed with me so hard that I was just depressed beyond belief. So one day I decided I'm going to make YouTube videos, and I just quit on the spot, moved home with my parents and started making videos. Then I ran out of money because, starting out, you don't really make much money on YouTube. So what happened was I met someone just completely by circumstance who works as an independent tutor in London. And what she does is she has all this network of parents who are looking for private tutors. And she said, look, I'll train you. I'll introduce you to a bunch of parents. I'll introduce you to as many as you need so you can earn the money you need to be able to make your videos. And she didn't take a cut at all from any of it. It was all for free. She did all of this. She trained me, found me a client base, and got me started in London for free. And now that's what I do. And I go around to people's houses and I'm like, oh, hi, I'm here to teach. You know, and then I work with them for the year and I teach maths and science. And I just help them improve. I go around once a week, teach them a topic, and then I go. I can do that, I can do that and come home and do some editing, and then if I want to do more teaching later on, I can go to their house and come back. I do it all in the town I'm in, so I don't have to go very far. And this woman who did this for me, she's responsible for all of this, because I had to run out of money. Because the problem is to earn a little bit of extra money to make videos is you need to get a job, obviously. Teaching is perfect because as I'm saying, you can do a bit here and there and sort of build up finances that way. I would have had to get like an office job 2 or 3 days a week to be able to finance living in London at the time. And the videos would just never have been able to have the time they needed to take off. So that's why I teach, because it allows me to do it that way. The reason I teach chemistry is because I have a master's in chemistry from the University of St Andrews. So it seemed the logical thing to teach. I'm terrible at maths, but I teach maths now, and I'm actually dropping all the chemistry teaching and just teaching maths, because being bad at a subject makes you a better teacher at it. I'm really good at chemistry, not because I'm a fucking genius or anything, just because I've done it for so long. And teaching someone something you are really good at is actually quite difficult. Teaching something that you yourself struggle with a little bit, like maths, means you know exactly how they feel and you can teach it really well. So I actually prefer teaching maths, and I'm teaching only maths next year for the little bit I do a week. But I teach chemistry just because that was the thing I did. Okay, the camera's going to turn off any minute now. So I hope you all... Oh, I missed one. So Matt Siddle asks, do you enjoy making machinima content, or blah 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 is a nightmare more? I feel like I've answered that question in quite a lot of detail. I clearly prefer the Nightmare series. So that was that. Sorry to answer that so quickly, Matt. It's just my camera's about to run out of space. But basically, I feel like I've answered that a few times. So thank you, everyone. This is kind of my way of saying thanks. I'm going to spend the rest of the day doing more stuff for you. I'm going to do the skeletons video, and there was one more thing I said I'd do. I'm going to try and do that all today. We're at the stage now where I can do this full time. But it's a bit of like a precarious thing. Things need to continue doing well. But it seems like for now, everything will be fine. I'm not going to set a limit on the Patreon. The better it does, the more money I can invest. It's like I'm using a £500 camera, which is all money from the Patreon. What else have I bought? All the props for the video I buy, what did I use? Oh yeah, I bought a new graphics card. I wouldn't have been able to make the videos without a new graphics card. That was another £500. So all the Patreon money is going to places. Every time I get more money, I will buy more stuff to make more videos. Like it pays for the games that I review, it pays for the camera, the equipment I use, the memory card that's in this. Okay, so there we go. So literally as the words memory card came out of my mouth, I ran out of space, but obviously I'm still recording the audio. Thank you all so much. I hope you really like this, and keep an eye out in the coming days for the next video from me it's just for you guys as well. So thanks very much, and see you soon. Da 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 da, boom.